So another topic I had to maybe talk about
Whoa.
our friend, we don't even know him, Johnny Gibson. I don't know what he was watching, but I was just
Oh, he's at Showtime. I know he was at Showtime anyways for the pavement race. I do know that.
maybe. Um,
I know that
he
for
just put on Twitter, you know, kind of a pet peeve is cars sitting on the track and the announcer doesn't start rattling off,
Oh, do it after they're
names.
fired up.
Yeah, do it
Yeah.
after they're fired up so no one can hear it.
Yes.
And I said, pet peeve of mine as well. So it got me thinking, what's kind of, I don't know if the topic of favorite announcer is necessarily what we gotta talk about, but what's kind of the qualities in an announcer maybe we like to see.
One of my biggest pet peeves is during a yellow not telling us what lap it is if there's not a
Yeah,
scoreboard.
that's true.
I try to count, but when I'm a fan, sometimes I may have some beers.
Not you.
And sometimes I forget what the lap was
Yeah,
because I get sidetracked. Like squirrel, you know, you
not
know that
you.
too.
Not you.
Or a hot woman walks by, I might get sidetracked. Or 12 people yell at me, I mean, so that's one of my biggest pet peeves. But what's it? I mean, informing, basically informing drivers who
Mhm.
they are. I like to know where they're from.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always liked about Terry Baldus. Like, of course, 90% of them was a full-time racer, but anyway, full-time racer. Not a
Uh-huh.
lot of them, but some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, basically, to me, car number, driver, where they're from. Definitely like to know what lap we're on. Um,
I like knowing, and it's kind of that indication, someone's A, done the research, or B, just knows what they're talking about, or have been around. As when they can say, oh, finished top five or had a couple good runs the
yeah,
last couple weeks with the series, or okay,
yeah.
he's known from
Won a A-Main in
yeah,
Joplin, Missouri last week, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
like that's a good one. You can tell the announcers who A, don't know who's coming to a race, or B, just doesn't do the research,
yes,
or C, just not involved around dirt racing their entire life. You know, you can always kind of tell that. So it's
yes.
always nice to have someone that kind of knows those extra
Oh
stats
yeah,
outside. Like
Blake Anderson's real good at
yeah,
that.
he is. He is truly a dirt nerd,
Yes.
as we've talked to him before. But you know, uh, I like I it's kind of a weird because I like guys who are kind of quiet too, who aren't talking the whole time,
Yeah,
but I
not
also don't mind some guys that do it. So
yes. I don't know if you got to do play-by-play
yeah,
every second of a lap.
correct.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's nice during the lap. Okay, hey, or watch the battle for fifth or sixth. Oh, come,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're watching a lead battle, if you're watching over here, that then you go, oh wow, that's
Yeah.
especially for fans that don't go as much as us. I mean, I can usually point out a battle quicker than a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool when the announcer does that. And yeah, you don't have to nonstop, but yes, I mean, to me, you still got to say what's going on, but you don't. If it's a 18-second lap, you don't have to talk
Mm-hmm.
all 18 seconds.
Yeah, and I
You talk
like
eight of it.
that's one thing I like. Like James Essex is one. He talks really fast, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me. But when it comes to like the World 100 or the Dream, when him and DJ are up in the booth, the way they announce
Oh
isn't
yeah.
that play by play. It's oh, watching this driver coming
Right.
through, and then we're catching this battle back here in
Yes.
13th, and it's more of a commentary, but it's not that horse race play by
Yeah, it's
play
not.
for 100
Well, in
laps.
turn three, side by side, door to
Yeah.
door, wheel to
Yeah, we're
wheel.
watching two guys side by side
Sparks
down
are
the back
flying.
stretch. They'll call little kind of sub mini events throughout a
Yeah.
race, but they don't sit there and hammer you for 100 laps of
Well, and sometimes the leader might be in the lead by a second or two.
yeah,
And you're sitting there and everybody, oh, well, you look back and there's a hell of a there's 4 cars battling for third
yeah,
or eighth or
exactly.
fifth or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like kind of that kind of style when that can happen. Obviously, with a 100 lap race, it's a little easier than a 30 lap shootout, but
Right.
Especially on a bigger track,
Yes.
Formats and stuff like that's nice to be expressed early, and that's even guys like me and you, it's nice, but especially new fans in the
Yes.
stands, they want to hear that stuff.
Oh yeah, I get that a ton. no matter what. It's like, oh, well, what are they doing? What are they doing tonight?
Well, yeah,
bro?
they know qualifying because they
Yeah.
heard about qualifying in NASCAR, which means you qualified in your race. So they're thinking, oh, I was fast qualifier, so he starts first, right? And it's
Yeah.
well, no, we got to race heat races. What are heat races? You know,
Yeah.
that whole kind of thing can happen. I've seen it
Yeah.
happen before. So
And that's one thing I say our local announcer Brian Liskey does a good job on
mm-hmm.
is format, and like if something happens, he's really good at explaining what it is on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those guys, if you don't know, don't pretend you know.
Yeah, you can. That's one of those like you can bullshit your way through it. I forget how I said it a while ago, but like you can say right rear suspension. You
Yeah,
don't have to
exactly.
say.
Yeah, you don't have to say,
like,
oh, torsion bar,
yeah,
torsion arm,
looks like
or
there's an
whatever.
issue in the right rear
Yeah,
suspension, or
yeah,
you know,
Jacob slider fell out or whatever. You know,
you
I
don't have to
mean,
be that specific. It's not a
no,
huge deal.
but sometimes you see that, and like if you like say the guys they're pulling the car down the front stretch and you see something dangling, like, oh well, that's the steering arm. You know, that's whatever. You know, that's kind of cool. But some of these guys,
if you don't know, you don't know. It's not a big deal.
some of their explanations like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the one bar connected to the one thing kind of
Like,
hanging on
really?
there. And yeah, so it's always it was just kind of a thing. Johnny posted that and I completely agree with him. Pet peeve. Like, hey, if you got some downtime, let her rip. Like get to the lineup. You know, people are gonna see the cars. That's one thing that's kind of annoying. I don't know if annoying is the right word to me when you're and it's really prevalent with streaming now when the announcer's announcing a car and the camera's not on that car.
Yes.
Now that's something that it's just a weird thing.
Well, and it's hard because like when let's say Dirt Vision is at Attica,
yeah,
this guy don't see what their camera's showing.
Well,
that is downstairs in a whole different area.
Well, it's upstairs next to the booth, isn't it? The camera guy's right there.
Well, the camera guy's outside
when they're doing a regular week. Well, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if he can hear what Brian's saying, and Brian sure as hell
right.
doesn't know what
he's got a headset on, so he should be able to hear what Brian's saying. To me, that's more on the camera guy than it is the announcer. When the announcer don't have a teleprompter or a screen, because I know at Attica, they don't. The screen's downstairs by me and Rex, in the corner, and it's getting edited through there and say switch to this camera, switch however. And to me that's so when the cameraman if he hears this guy say, oh, and there's a heck of a battle for fourth, switch to that. And Flo's kind of the same way because not every one of them have, depending on what track, have a screen for the announcer to see.
Well, and it's more so just the setup in general where it's one cameraman panning on a camera. That's all. That's all this. That's why the streaming kind of works well because they hire someone as a subcontractor. They pay them whatever it is for a race, and they just they just operate a camera all night, and all the other bullshit happens without them even having to do anything.
The Lincoln guy is struggling a little bit to start.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that I'm
the camera guy.
Not that I'm shitting on anyone by any means. I'm sure it's not easy to do. It's just one of those things you notice now with streaming that happens a lot more.
I shot a video once, so Ohio Sprint Speed Week on the roof of Muskegon County Speedway with no rails, and the roof slopes pretty bad. My fat ass was wanting to fall off of it all night, and no tripods, no nothing. Watch that Speed Week video.
I forget what shaky as shit.
Oh yeah, it was.
That had to be a mess.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
It was bad. It looked like I was shitting razor blades. I was shaking so bad.
So yeah, it was a kind of interesting point Johnny brought up, and just not so much who we all have our preferences on who we like, and like I know Rick Eshelman's a guy I like.
Yes, he does a great job.
I know personally, known him since I was a kid. Got to get him on the podcast. By the way,
we should. I don't know him, but I think he liked something on mine on Twitter the other day or retweeted it.
You know where he's from?
He's from one in Wasion or Swanson,
Michigan,
or I thought
started out Flat Rock, Toledo Speedway.
Okay, I knew it was somewhere right in this area.
Then was at Oakshade for a while. Then was Eldora for a while. But yeah, so I've known him forever.
Yeah,
he's one a lot of people I see bitch about on forums, but you know what? They bitch about everybody.
He's good. I mean, he's to me, and like I said, I know Johnny Gibson's great.
People bitch about him.
Yeah, Blake Anderson does good. Rob Klepper's kind of disappeared. I don't know if he's doing it anymore. That he's got his realty business.
Oh yeah.
Because USAC's got this new guy. I think he's gonna learn. I mean,
let's give him time.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Liskey is good, but to me, and I know it's gonna be hard to say being a sprint car guy, but I think Rick Eshelman's he's the guy you want to be Like, cause he's so informative. Yeah, he talks a little fast, but he is so informative and he gets it in, and he's not I would say not sloppy,
Yeah, he's
if
pretty
that makes
crisp.
sense. I mean, it's yeah, he screws up every once in a while, but he's who don't? I mean,
I
the
like
only thing,
Chet too.
yeah,
You know,
Chet.
Chet's good.
Well, yeah, sorry, as far as streaming, yeah, Chet's good.
We got kind of a new generation thing going on. Like Blake's kind of the younger, newer guys.
Mhm.
You know, he's
Dustin Jarrett.
DJ's been around forever. I've always liked him. Him and James do a great job,
Yeah.
especially for the big Eldora races. So, but yeah, it's always interesting to
I still
see.
miss Terry Baldus. He still.
Terry was pretty good. I liked the Rick Eshelman, Brett Emmerich combination for the World and the Dream.
Uh-huh.
I remember one time talking to Rick Saturday morning after qualifying night at Eldora, and he was hoarse as all hell
Nah,
because that's when they had 200 cars. They
Right.
did single car runs for 2 rounds,
Right.
and he called every single one of them. Between him and Brett, I guess he didn't call because they would switch every 20, 30 cars or something, whatever it was. But he was so hoarse the next day, and he announced Saturday night somehow.
I went to one of those Friday night World 100
marathons.
Once. Yeah, where there was like 200 and some cars.
Oh yeah,
I drank a lot that night.
Everyone does. Boring as hell. Yeah. But yeah, those were the glory days, right? The good old days, like I like to
Yes.
talk about. So
That's actually when I met Bloomer.
yeah.